week out in your financial results.
Great, thanks a lot. After the first half year, equities are roughly back to where they started. Yet the first 6 months of 2018 have seen market oscillations driven by a wide range of macro, sector, and stock-specific events. After a good first quarter run, major US share indices have returned to early January levels, while European markets underperformed relative to the US indices. Worldwide healthcare equities followed the broader US indices. The MSCI World Healthcare Index gained 1.9%, while pharmaceutical companies once again underperformed broad healthcare markets. The Nasdaq Biotechnology Index performed slightly better, driven by small and mid-cap companies, and gained 3.1%. In the second quarter, BB Biotech shares lost slightly, and the net asset value pulled also back 2.9%. For the first half of 2018, shares returned 8.4% in Swiss francs, outperforming the Nasdaq Biotechnology Index by more than 3%. Important holdings such as Incyte and Esperion announced imperfect clinical trial results for key pipeline compounds. In a short-term oriented investor environment, such results can drive aggressive generalist selling, as it did for these two firms. Other large cap holdings such as Celgene also performed subpar. In the first half of 2018, investors have been cautious about the risk of drug pricing control legislation. And this sentiment has been associated with continuous negative fund flows for the biotech sector. We find these generalist investor reactions understandable, but as one of the biotech sector's leaders, we also believe that some of the strategic ideas being discussed in US healthcare are constructive, while others are not. In a complex US healthcare system, improved transparency and removal of inefficient incentives will ultimately spur innovation. The best innovation will create the best drugs, which, when priced for cost effectiveness and responsible budget impact, will continue to create enormous value for shareholders. As we have indicated for several years now, we foresee smart evolution, not sizzling revolution in US drug access, pricing, and reimbursement, despite the hue and cry of leaders who are anxious to score popular votes. Over the foreseeable future, we believe that the US healthcare system will restructure, reorganize, and reassign capital steadily and successfully to create an increasingly competitive and information-rich, efficient, and value-based market. Overall, at this time, we see more exciting emerging biotech innovation, which carries the potential to improve healthcare more than ever before in our 25-year successful run. We see our leading companies paying careful and explicit attention to the very real question of value for money in healthcare. So we remain highly attentive to the opportunities created by and for sector experts in these remarkable times. Despite turbulence, this is a time to invest judiciously, not a time to retrench and eschew innovation. Given the many challenges of biotech markets, we reanalyzed the companies once more, and the portfolio has been adjusted promptly and decisively. We built further on our RNA platform positions, buying back shares in Alnylam that had been sold at higher levels, and by adding to the position in Wave Life Sciences. Drugs that rely on RNA are here to stay. We bought additional shares in our gene therapy holding Voyager Therapeutics, given the company's progress and the US FDA's positive stance in support of such ambitious innovation. As usual, we took advantage of short-term market overreactions and increased our exposure to Esperion and Tesaro, confident that they have meaningful products and potential for value creation. By contrast, we took significant profits from other positions. Novartis offered $218 per share in cash for Avexis, valuing the company at $8.7 billion. Our initial investment in Avexis in late 2016 resulted in an exit at almost fivefold the invested capital. The value of our long-term view was illustrated once more as we sold our remaining position in Idorsia, spun out from Actelion as part of the Johnson & Johnson deal in June 2017. this ends a long and very successful strategic investment cycle. We added 4 new companies to the portfolio in the second quarter. G1 Therapeutics focuses on the discovery and development of cancer treatments. Nectar Therapeutics is focused on developing novel drugs for oncology, autoimmune diseases, and chronic pain. Exelixis is also working in the oncology field and focusing on small molecule tyrosine kinase inhibitors. Myocardia is one of the few small biotech companies in the cardiovascular disease area. The company's initial focus is on the treatment of inheritable cardiomyopathies. We anticipate more pipeline progress, including important product approvals and phase 3 data reports for new drugs in US and Europe during the second half of 2018, including our companies Alnylam, Akshia, Ionis, Sage Therapeutics, Agios, and many more. Despite Takeda's hefty offer for Shire, sector M&A activities did not meet investor expectations in the second quarter of 2018. Some large pharma companies have declared interest in acquisitions, but no other major deals were struck. Since valuations are now well off their 2016 and 17 highs, our analysis shows no reasons for despondency. We can reasonably expect selective M&A events to offer attractive exits for some of our portfolio holdings. In the meantime, we look forward to attractive fundamental growth in this sector, and we will continue to marshal our portfolio, including further new investments in leading smaller and mid-cap positions which promise high growth rates.